I invite you to close your eyes as we bless this service and our time together. And together let us recognize the divine presence that moves through all things. And know that this presence of love expresses as each of us in unique and beautiful ways. And I know that we are blessed by this time together, and that we're each renewed in our remembrance of love, peace, wholeness, and connection. I give thanks for everyone in attendance and for everyone who made our service possible today, especially that one person, Charlene, who really made this service possible today. Thank you, Charlene. May the energy of love that is generated here bless us and them all abundantly, and so it is. And while we're in this space of blessing, it's our time to share a prayer request or celebration. So I'm going to attempt to read chats if you chat it in this Google Meet. But if you're in Facebook Live, you could also type your request in the comments. And I'll just give us a minute to check and see if there's any prayer requests. Char, I'm going to ask for your assistance to look on Facebook if you can.
Sure. Yeah, I got you. The screen is going to flicker. Just give it a minute. All right. And so far, nothing.
Okay. Well, I know at least one prayer that we have is for Reverend Sunday's mother and holding her in wholeness. And I know in my own life, I have a prayer for a family friend that passed away, Martha. So I'm going to ask you right now to close your eyes with me and breathe in and out. And just be coming into alignment with that recognition that there is one perfect life and one divine mind. And this one divine mind and one perfect life is all and expresses through all. And I'm assured and comforted by the knowledge that this one life moves through me and expresses as me and expresses as all people everywhere. And so we're connected in this oneness together as the divine spirit expressing collectively. And in my awareness and mind, I know that there is room for only good. And I trust that the universe is unfolding in the ways that support life and are working for its entire good at all times. And so it's with confidence that I realize and I know that Reverend Sunday's mother is in complete and perfect health. And it is with confidence that I know and I realize that Martha's family is held in complete support and love. And her spirit is part of the oneness. And so I just give gratitude in the knowledge that this oneness is expressing as me every single moment of my life. It's never separated. And I let everything fall away from my awareness and my conscious mind that does not serve this highest good. So I just breathe in gratitude and love, and I release that into the law, knowing that there is only oneness. Let it be.
Excellent. Thank you, Kristen. And next we have our beautiful musical guests, Dan and Aaron.
They're following along on Facebook. Okay. Are you ready to dry up your tears?
So are you ready? Say goodbye to your fears. Rev it up, shifting gears, higher and higher till morning appears. Are you ready to come out and play? Are you ready to seize a brand new day? Live it up, don't delay. Magic and mystery and more on the way. Now, my friend, now is the time for beginning. Choose again, releasing the need to know exactly how it will go. And I'm ready, really, 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 really ready. Ba-da, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm ready, make a new start. Creating my world is a work of art. Make it up, play a part. Stars on my ceiling and joy in my heart. Now, my friend, right now is the time for beginning. Choose again, releasing the need to know exactly how it will go. And I'm ready to make a new start. Creating my world is a work of art. Break it up, shake apart. Stars on my ceiling and joy. Stars on my ceiling and joy. Stars on my ceiling and joy. In my heart, yes, in my heart. Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready? Now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dan and Aaron. All right. So welcome. This is a wonderful, exciting, and woo, keeps you on your toes kind of Sunday morning. Welcome. So I'm Charlene Banks, and what we're going to talk about today is change. In fact, I know the title is, the content is really, in essence, what is mine to do? And what better time to talk about this? In fact, the great work of your entire life is defined every day. And in fact, today is one of the key days in that. And here's why I say that. You know, there's something changing around the world, right? Anybody notice? Besides Zoom doesn't work, that's big. But besides that, hold on, let me remove this from my head. If you guys are online noticing, I'm feeding a Facebook Live, and there's a CSL Leesburg label right here. It used to be right here. Anyway, welcome. So, have you ever heard the term Dharma? Yeah, you've heard of that? It's discovering, it's your life purpose, what you're here to do. And a lot of times we can get caught up. Everybody want to put yourselves on mute. That would be great. All right. You could get caught up in all of what's going on. Information coming to us from the pundits on the news, from all of the huge data gathering. There's so much data, so much information available that we could get caught up in trying to process all that information, and it keeps us in our mental machinery state. It keeps us in our mental algorithms where we're running through if this then that, and if that then that. And how many of you feel better after doing the if this then that exercise? It's no fun, because if you look at the way things appear to be, it appears that, well, I can't really curse from the pulpit, but stuff's going nuts outside, right? Outside of us, it looks kind of crazy. So if we were to use our external information gathering features of our brains to inform us about who we really are, it would be terrible. Because we would start to assume that life is horrid. There's nothing we could do, that we can't, and nothing little old me can do to affect anything or anybody, so I'm just going to wallow. And then I think I'll take my phone and do a little doom scrolling. Yep, I'm just going to scroll news after news story, and everything's doom, and gloom, and that definitely doesn't make me feel better. So, but if our life purpose is to, and I believe that all of us are here as a group collective, to raise the consciousness of humanity on this planet. And I believe that is the truth. That's why we chose to incarnate at this very time. So if this is true, then that means it is up to us to not get caught up in the day-to-day doom and gloom. It is up to us to know the truth, to center into what we know is true, and to live from that experience. But I get it. It's hard. It can be hard, right? And so, Dharma, what is our thing? What do we come here to really do? And we know, based on what we just talked about, it's not to get caught up in the appearances of things. It's to know the truth. But then you ask yourself, well, how do I know the truth? What is the truth? Well, we know that from a science of mind point of view, that we all have come into being from the divine spark, and that we know that there's something beyond what we can see, that we're all connected through this consciousness, this ground of being that is underpinning all of life. In fact, all of reality is underpinned by the one consciousness, the one divine. And we know that in that one divine consciousness, there is no other. There's just consciousness, just God, if you want to call it God. If you want to call it life, the universe, you want to call it oneness, the divine. But with that oneness, there's no space. Like, there's no separation, which means I can communicate with you. You seem to be in a separate spot physically. Sure, our local bodies are separated, but there's a non-locality. There is something beyond in that ground of being where we are not separate. And that's how we can know. We can intuit things. We could just pick up on each other's energy, each other's feelings. We can just, because we're all connected anyway. Every now and then, some of the more enlightened of us tap into that. They are able to do things that only parapsychologists understand, like telekinesis or telepathology. They can know what you're thinking. And, they'll remote view something. They might be sleeping or in a meditative state and simultaneously be viewing something miles and miles away. And we know that that's the case. We hear lots and lots of, maybe anecdotal stories of this. But each one of these experiences helps to point to the fact that there is a divine through which we all live and move and have our being. Well, that's great. However, every day I wake up, I do the same mundane things, and in my conditioning of the mundane, I am not aware of who I really am. I have to take a moment. I have to consciously and on purpose sit still, get quiet, and go within. And it's so easy to not do that when things are going on around us and all of the news is telling us, you gotta do, you gotta be, you gotta go. There's things you gotta do. You gotta hoard. Go get more toilet paper, right? There's that. But then there's another part of us that doesn't need to keep doing. There's a part of us that needs to just be. And so when we sit and we're just being, what we do is we calm down those neural circuits that are so habituated to doing. We calm that down. And there's all science behind that about how becoming mindful, becoming meditative in our lives, even just for 20 minutes a day, it can change our whole experience. We can go from sympathizing with other people to empathizing with other people. So what's the difference there? Let's say a friend calls you and the friend is in tears. Somebody treated them really, really, really bad. Like really bad. When we have, if this is a really close friend or your child calls you and says, somebody's treating me really bad, those mirror neurons kick in. Your kid's crying and you're crying. Your best friend's crying, you're crying too, because sympathetic, we've got these mirror neurons and we just jump in the pool. And where everybody's wet, she's drowning, everybody's drowning. Now, that's hard not to do, right? But with empathy, we can hold that space that we cultivated during our meditation, knowing that there is something going on more than what appears, and that there is a space, a ground of being, bigger and deeper than any emotional moment that we might have. And it holds us. And from that space, we take in the information. Somebody hurt your best friend, and somebody messed with your kid. And we can feel empathy toward them without getting in there with them. And what that does for the other person is it holds that space that there's something higher. There's something deeper than what I'm experiencing. And that the person that we're on the phone with, they can harmonize to our level of depth, to our awareness and our empathy, and then they can feel one with us at a higher, deeper, more efficacious or more effective level. And you'll find if you try this, next time, hold on, someone's knocking on the door. Come on in. Next time somebody calls you who is triggered by something that happened and they're in their emotional response, we could take that breath that we cultivated earlier today, that meditation, and we can know that there's something deeper and something more. There's just that ground of being that connects us with them. And we hold that space. And they dump the facts on us. The facts are not the truth. And we can feel empathy for our friend. And we know there's something bigger going on. And that's where meaning comes in. When we can hold that empathetic space, then we can bring meaning into the conversation at the moment that it's happening. I don't know about you, but sometimes if I'm being triggered, somebody's really getting to me and I'm feeling just such terrible feelings, I am not in that moment able to see the meaning. No way. I may think later, I'm really going to love this experience, but right now, I can know that in the future I'm going to see the meaning. I'm sure there's a higher meaning to this. I'm sure that later we'll all laugh, but right now this sucks. And this is why I need my spiritual community to know that meaning for me in the moment that I'm having the emotion. Because our minds were meant to not only contemplate information, we make meaning out of it. Our emotions, we make meaning out of it. Our lives, we're here to provide meaning to what is otherwise mundane. We don't get sucked into the fear. I mean, yeah, it's kind of terrifying, but what's the meaning behind it? So in your life, you wake up in the morning and you meditate, hopefully, or just think about meditating. That's a step. Be willing to think about meditating. And just let that inner life start to have more sway in your everyday life. And as we take this time, which has been imposed upon us, to sit at home and resist turning on whatever external thing that we want to watch, if we do want to pick up something, let's pick up something that inspires us to get meaning. I'm currently reading this one, Quantum Spirituality by Goswami. But anything that triggers the mind to look for meaning in its experience. And then you will find what is the great work of your life. What are you here to do? And as we turn down the volume of external fear and doom and gloom, and we turn up the volume on what am I here to do, we look for the meaning, look for little glowing insights that are around us. Look for any time something speaks to you and you're like, oh, I want to know more about that. Follow that. Because what I'm thinking is this. Our deeper selves or higher selves, whichever way you want to look at the hierarchy, the reason that we came into this world to incarnate at this time, that reason is making itself known to us. But sometimes it's just in whispers and everything else is shouting so loudly we can't hear the whispers. And so one thing that Dr. Goswami talks about is in your life, look for those glimmering signs, those little shiny nuggets that interest you, because you incarnated here for reasons only your divine self knows. And your divine self is leaving these little breadcrumbs, but they're getting lost or they're getting obfuscated by other things. One way Dr. Goswami mentions is to listen to your dreams. And I'm like, oh, really? Tell me more, Dr. Goswami. In his book, he talks about there are 5 bodies. And of course, you've got your physical body. This physical body has, sensations and feelings. And sometimes when we dream, our physical body is in control of the dream. You've had those dreams where you realize, so I'm about to go to the bathroom, but this bathroom is weird. I better wake up because I bet I have to really go to the bathroom. Have you guys had? Yeah, my mom taught me years and years ago when I was little. She said, Charlene, I notice you're having trouble. Every now and then you wake up and I have to wash your sheets. So here's the deal. If you're dreaming you're about to go to the bathroom, look around you. Look for something weird. And if something's not right, it's a dream. Wake yourself up. You're not really in the bathroom. You have to go, but you're not there yet. And she was right. Sure enough, that's how I learned how to figure out how not to wet the bed. Let's be clear. And so that's one way, your physical body. Here's another way. You're sleeping and you're really in it, right? And you hear in your dream, there's somebody like playing with a fire alarm or playing with an ambulance alarm. And it turns out it's your actual morning alarm and you got to wake up. That's another way your physical body will incorporate physical things around you in order to get yourself, in order to deal with you. So those dreams, physical dreams, yeah, that's one thing. But there are 4 other bodies where we have our emotional body, our mental body, our archetypical, or there's another word for this. One moment. I have notes. The notes aren't available. Anyway, it'll come back. Just give me a sec. So archetype, you know what that is. Plato's archetypes, the 9 of them. Love, truth, beauty, wholeness. That's one. So your dreams might be any of those types. Feeling, like emotional, mental, or the archetypal dream. And then finally, there's the bliss dream. So these 4 other bodies, I could go into details about them. But in the book, Dr. Goswami says, create a dream circle where you and your friends get together weekly and you discuss your dreams. because sometimes we cannot see the things our higher self is trying to point to us unless we get that external point of view. And so I know you guys, we do this all the time, right? I say, I had a dream the other night. I know what that's about. But I don't have a group of people dedicated to talking about our dreams together. And so I'm like, wow. So wait a second. My higher self is definitely giving me clues as to what I can do to fully embody what I'm really here for. There's a divine purpose I came here to do, and I don't want to stay asleep to that purpose. I want to wake up to that purpose, and one way to do it is through the unconscious seeding of our brains while we're sleeping. And then when you wake up, if you write down your dream and then share it with other people, we can start to get a sort of pattern going. I know for years I was dreaming about my son. At the time he was a little kid, like 3 and 4. I'd have dreams that he was driving the car. And it was weird. I'd consistently have this dream where the kid's driving the car. And it didn't take a lot to realize what that dream was about. In other words, Blake was running the show. He was running the show. And the car, it turns out, stands for ego, or just anything that you purposely, directional purpose, moving forward. If someone else is driving that car, if it's your child, maybe you need to instill a little more discipline on that little guy. So that's exactly what I did. And but it was very clear to me that that's what was going on. Another dream I used to have all the time was I'm in a car. Again, cars are very important because you're moving through your ego and how it's moving through the world. And I'd be about to get on the San Francisco Bay Bridge. I'm from Northern California. And there would be a break in the bridge to where I was almost going to fall. I was going to fall. And it's nuts. It's nuts. And I would always have that dream. And then I stopped having that dream. And discontinuity, a bridge over water, these are the kinds of things it would be great to discuss with a group. And so I can't do it all here, but I definitely made notes. And just like I usually do, when it's time for me to learn something spiritually, and if it's really like hitting on points that I'd love to deeply delve into, what I do is I create a course and I teach it. We learn it together. Let's be clear. I'll create a course and we learn it together. So at the end of this talk, I'll be inviting you guys to join me on our Thursday morning meditations, and we're going to have a little dream group where we can help each other look at these dreams, give each other ideas, insights that we see in each other, because as we evolve this humanity that we're all here with, we're here to evolve not as individuals only, but as a whole. And each of us has the responsibility to evolve our own consciousness, not only in our own selves, that's first, but also in community. And then that community helps to expand that awareness to the whole. And only then can we all raise the consciousness, because it's time to evolve. We've done the evolution into the reasoning age. That's great. The modern age of reasoning. Descartes said, I think, therefore I am, and gave birth to dualism. Yeah, that's great. It helped. We got far. Now it's time to take it deeper. We are one. There is no dualism. We are all one. And so to enjoy this, to expand this, and to evolve into our greater yet to be, which Lord knows we need it, I encourage you to sit every day, go within, and find the messages that are there for you and be open to them. And as you move through the world, look for little clues that are saying, pick me, do this, and follow those things that interest you. And one of the ways to open to things that interest you or to what it is you're here to do is to listen to your dreams, share them with other people, and help you to evolve. Deal? All right. I'll give you more information on how to join us on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. But for now, let's go within for a spiritual mind treatment, just where we anchor in the truth, knowing who we really are. So join me. As we turn within, I know that there is the divine spark that is the connection to the divine itself, that there is no otherness outside of the great ground of being. And Ernest Holmes calls this the force, the life force that lives and moves and has its being through us. He calls it the thing itself. So I know that we are all united through this thing itself. There can be no separation. There can be no otherness. We are individualized expressions of the one. And so I speak my word for each and every one of us within the sound of my voice, that we've got what it takes to evolve ourselves into what it is that our life purpose is meant to be. That it is not too late. It is right on time to wake up and to embody what it is that we came here to do. I know that we make a big difference. Each and every one of us makes a difference. With this divine spark, we move through the world and we shine it on others. We allow others to just be who they are. We extend empathy and we understand. We have compassion for those who are in pain or just in any sort of suffering. We release any negative emotions and we invite the embodiment of the platonic archetypes of love, peace, beauty, wisdom, and higher self. I know that this is our path. We chose this path, and now we're choosing to awaken, to consciously have an intention to move forward on this path, because nothing else will do. It is not okay to sit and wait. It is now our time to do whatever calls us forward. Whatever tiny baby steps it is, just do them and do them with joy, letting go of anything unlike love, beauty, peace, wholeness, truth. I give thanks that we are becoming more and more aware and that we're helping each other awaken. I give thanks for this community, so many souls of just brightness and God, just beautiful, beautiful, God's beauty shining through each and every one of us. I give thanks for the platforms that allow us to connect to each other. And I'm so grateful for all the flexibility that everyone has today as we try to move through all of our wonderful, wonderful obstacles in technology. So thank you, God. Thank you, life, for bestowing upon us this knowledge, this truth. And I simply say thank you, life. And so it is. Amen. And now it's time for Dan and Aaron.
You clicked it already?
All righty.
Jonah?
I got a story I hope will hit you right between the eyes about the night I first encountered a genius in disguise. You know how I can be a little blasé, like I already know the score. Here's an unexpected command performance I wasn't bargaining for. And you know what? This is a true story.
Okay.
In my seat at the end of a concert, Maestro has just left the stage. In the back of the hall, there's a terrible ruckus, and security gives way. This homeless guy, all tatters and tears, breaks through the door on the left, rushes the stage like a demon possessed, and the audience holds its breath. Well, he walked right in like he owned the joint, flipped his tapes as he sat down to play. disguise. You don't judge a book by its cover. You never know what you'll find. But as for me, I just might be a legend in my own mind. I would walk right in like I own the joint, flip my wig and begin to play a moonlight sonata, a breakfast frittata, a masterpiece every day. So I rest my case, I drop the charges and set my spirit free and send an invitation to all of humanity. I say, we all blow our cover, let our brilliance come shining through. Open the door, begin to explore the genius in me and you. Creative collaboration, collective improvisation. We're all geniuses in disguise. Genius in disguise.
Woo! Yay! That was amazing. Thank you. All right. So next, I'll see if I could share my PowerPoint slides. So just a moment. Bear with me. Yeah, there was some feedback coming from the Zoom participants, so I ended Zoom. So hopefully that doesn't hurt anybody. All right. So that was the Soul Pajamas. Now, it is time for us to speak our blessings out into the universe, knowing that we are so, so blessed and so, so grateful for that. 1 second. Okay, so say with me, inside your mind, say it with me. The presence of spirit with me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. And so even though we're not physically in our building at the Ark, we still tithe to them. So all of the donations that you guys so generously give are definitely going to good work. We have many ways to give. You could text your donation to the number on the screen here. You can also, we've gotten our Cash App, so you can Cash App to $CSL Leesburg. If you want to send us a regular old check into the regular old mail, there's our address, or you can send it through PayPal. We do appreciate your generosity during this time. And as we appreciate your generosity, Soul Pajamas has a song about gratitude. Take it away, Soul Pajamas.
Okay, 1, 2. Got no complaints whatsoever. I got no complaints whatsoever. I got no complaints whatsoever. And a new day is dawning in my soul. A new day is dawning in my soul. Believe it or not, I ain't lying. I'm not trying to cover up the facts. I've been down, been betrayed, I've been broken open, till I gave up the struggle at last. I see all the ways that I've been gifted, and the wisdom that has brought me to this place. Through the twists and the turns, I have finally come to learn to trust this amazing kind of grace. I got no
just shows up without a fight. Through the ups and the downs, I see beauty all around. 'Cause I'd rather be grateful than right. And I get to play with what I'm given. Such unexpected harmonies. Weaving the light with the deep dark shadows to the music sets me free. I got no complaints whatsoever. I got no complaints whatsoever. I got no complaints whatsoever. And a new day is dawning in my soul. A new day is dawning in my soul. I got no regrets. I'm seriously blessed. And a new day is dawning in my soul.
Woohoo! Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. All right. Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Somehow it looks like my mic is off. All right, whatever. So if you all can hear me just fine, let's talk about the next thing. We are going to be meeting, now, as you know, we have a Tuesday morning 9 a.m. Neuro Wisdom course. And we're also going to be having a new 9 a.m. Dreams Exploration course. So that's where we get together and, this Thursday, jot down your dreams if you can, and then we'll play with it. But this Thursday, I'll be introducing you the 5 bodies and how the 5 dream bodies that we can have and how that might help us interpret what our higher selves are telling us. So that's really exciting, right? Join me. I don't want to be the only one on the call. All right. Any pearls from today? And just take yourself off mute and let us know what your pearls are if you've got them. Or if you're in Facebook Live, just go ahead and type it into the chat.
This is Erin,
Yes.
and I love the whole dream thing, and I'm with you on Thursday morning.
Yay!
It was great. That was, it's a great reminder. I have dreams all the time, and it would be really nice to have some help with that because, sometimes they're pretty wild and crazy, and you're not sure what you're at. But I really agree with what you said about how they're really are telling you something about what's yours to do at that moment.
Yeah. Yay! Good. I'm going to unpin myself so you guys can see each other. And I'll also stop presenting so you guys can really see each other. Anybody else have any pearls? Anybody else going to join me on Thursday?
I'd love to.
Yay! Dream time.
My pearls would be, I loved Dan and Aaron's music today.
It was so good.
It was really fun and folky. It was cool.
Yeah.
And I liked how jazzy you brought it in the beginning. So great job with the music. And I just wanted to say another pearl was Charlene and her magic way of bringing the technology to yield to her power.
Yay!
Thank you. Thanks for being flexible, you guys. That was kind of crazy. But,
But, it was fun.
yeah. Shout out to Reverend Sunday for pointing out, y'all need to get on Zoom because something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yay. Tamara says, thank you for a wonderful message. Thanks, Tamara. All right.
I love the music too. Those are great songs that I've heard before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Except for the last one, where did that come from?
That's a Jan and JD.
You're muted, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I like those guys.
Nice.
I want to say kudos to everybody for keeping up. Following along with the technology, especially the leader here, Charlene.
Aw.
She was calm and collected, and she just made it happen
Yay.
somehow.
I don't know. It's funny because in my head, I'm like, where have I? Surely there must Google. Yay. And Robert, shout out to Robert for making sure that, the audio was right. I saw you muting people. Thank you for that. Yeah, it takes a village.
I heard some feedback when Dan and Aaron were singing, and I realized that must be coming out of your speakers and back into your mic. So
It was the Zoom. Somebody on Zoom had it to where it was coming back to me, and then I was recording. I was doing Zoom and this, and I just shut down Zoom because I couldn't figure out how to mute people. It wasn't working. Zoom is broken today. Prayers for Zoom.
Yeah.
crazy.
Alrighty. Well, Dan and Aaron, do you want to play us out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Everyone mute again.
Oh, yeah.
I release
Hey.
into the law,
What?
and so it is, and all is well. I release into the law, and so it is, and all is well. Release my word into the law, you know it's on its way. I let go of control and simply say, I release into the law, and so it is, and all is well. I release into the law, and so it is, and all is well, and so it is, and all is well.
Woo! All right. Yay, everybody. So, do we have the closing? Hold on. Don't we do a thingy? Hold on, let me see. Oh, there's not there, but I know how to do it. So everybody put your hand over your heart and say, I am love.
I am love.
Now look up and point to the camera and say, you are love.
You are.
And look around, go get the cat, go look in the dog's eyes and say, it's all love. Yay. All right, go out and have a wonderful, wonderful day, you guys. I don't know why I can't hear the Soul Pajamas anymore. Did you move?
Thanks, Charlene. That was fun.
Yay, thank you. Okay, let me stop I'll stop the live thing. If you guys want to hang around, that's fine. But if you just want to run and have a glass of wine, I get it.
Oh, that's... I'm not quite there yet.
Not yet.
No, you were the one who would